Interlingua is a language designed to make communication easier between speakers of European languages through a simplified grammar and a common vocabulary based on shared Greek and Latin roots. Here are some useful resources. You can find this list of resources at github.com/arunzo/interlingua. Now, I'm not going to go through every resource, but rather go through the highlights and give some brief thoughts. Anyway, let's get right into it. In this first section, you can find information about Interlingua itself. The first link is the official website for the organization, Unión Mundial Pro Interlingua, the main organization behind the promotion of Interlingua. The next link is a link to an article about Interlingua on Omniglot, which gives an overview of the language. Here, we have a page on the site of Languages and Numbers. This site is cool because it not only describes how numbers work in Interlingua, but you can also practice writing numbers. And, of course, the Wikipedia article about Interlingua. Moving on to the Dictionaries and Vocabulary section. Of course, there is the original dictionary, Interlingua, a dictionary of the international language. You can download it at archive.org, but frankly, that is not really necessary because I find that basically all the other resources are largely based on it. My favorite dictionary out of all of these is the Concise English Interlingua Dictionary because it has a good balance of words and accessibility. So all these other resources in this section are just more variations of dictionaries and lists of words in various formats, but I want to bring two other resources in this section to your attention. The first one is this multilingual Interlingua Dictionary. To find a word in Interlingua, activate one of the ENIA checkboxes. Enter the desired word in the text field. For example, book. Click cerca, meaning search, and we obtain the result. It is worth noting that this dictionary also contains Dutch, French, Spanish, and Esperanto. The second one is this online Interlingua English Dictionary project. As you can see here, you can search for a word. Personally, I think the presence of too many results can be confusing or cluttered, but if you want to look at it, it's there. Moving on to the grammar section. Just like before with the previous section, I start this section with an original book. Interlingua, a grammar of the international language. Again, you can download it at archive.org, but it is not necessary because the other resources are based on it and are more user-friendly. I think pretty much everything here is self-explanatory and they are all quite similar, but if you're only going to use one resource, I recommend the Addo Nielsen website, which is an adapted version of the original grammar book. Flashcards. I would say that the best is this Anki deck of 2,500 words, but I think the disadvantage is that it is necessary to set up Anki beforehand. If you want something more instantaneous, there is this deck of 500 words on Quizlet. In addition, there are decks on Memrise, but I have some things to say about this. Firstly, there is now a difference between regular Memrise courses and community courses. Community courses are on their own site. If you click this link, you can look at not only Interlingua decks, but also other subjects. Secondly, I did not find a deck that I could say was good with certainty. So even though I did not put a specific Memrise deck in this list, you can look for yourself and see what you like. Courses. I would definitely start with this official course for English speakers. The course slowly introduces words and grammar through each lesson, available in PDF format. In addition, there are audio recordings that go with these lessons. There's also this interesting conversation course, which has dialogues in Interlingua and English translations. In regards to this resource, Interlingua a Prima Vista, this book is apparently a classic. It seems that a lot of people like it. The only potential disadvantage, or advantage depending on your perception, is that it is only in Interlingua. It teaches Interlingua entirely through context. The last resource in this section is a YouTube playlist, which goes over the lessons in video form. Moving on to reading materials. Most of these do not need an explanation, so I will only talk about a few of these resources. This ebooks page has ebooks in Interlingua, but they are only available in PDF format. I mention this because many ebooks also come in a format like EPUB, which is the ideal format for e-readers like Kindle devices and Kobo devices. But these ebooks can still be good on other devices. I want to bring your attention to this requires payment subsection. These are more resources, but they are not free of charge. These first two pages are physical copies of books by means of the website Lulu. When you order a book through Lulu, that service will print it and then ship it to your address. And then there is a magazine in Interlingua called Panorama. Unlike the other paid resources, Panorama has both a physical option and a digital option. This means that if you want to read it, you do not have to wait as much. However, this requires a subscription, so keep all this in mind. Blogs. I believe the only active blog is the first blog by Marcus Scriptor, which is called Poemas y Pensatas, meaning poems and thoughts. All the other blogs appear to be inactive more or less, however, they are still available if you want reading materials in Interlingua. Online tools. Verbix is a website that shows conjugations of verbs in different languages. You can also look at conjugations of verbs in Interlingua using this site. Even though Interlingua has few verb conjugations, this can still be nice to have. Parlator de Interlingua is a text-to-speech tool. Enter a text in Interlingua and it will give you audio. Tatoeba is a site that has sentences in Interlingua. I noticed that the sentences in Interlingua do not have audio. In general, it is uncommon for sentences to have audio, but I have never seen sentences in Interlingua with audio, unlike other languages. So keep in mind that it is possible to have audio, I just have not seen it. Forvo is a site that has audio recordings for individual words in Interlingua. Now, let's take a look at this spell checker tool for Firefox. All you have to do is click Add to Firefox. Now click Add. Click OK. Now let's do a little test. I'm going to click on this text field and enter io volet instead of the correct form io vole, meaning I want. If I right click and click on check spelling, it should indicate that this word is misspelled. We can verify this by right-clicking on the word and checking the language of the spell checker, which should be Interlingua. So now that we verify that the spell check tool is checking Interlingua words, we can right-click on the misspelled word, volet, and click on the correct spelling, vole. So now we have the correct spelling, io vole, a very useful tool. In regards to translators, there are 3 translators available. I am sure that they are all okay. The only other thing I can say is that if you want to translate from Interlingua into English, I recommend the first link or the Vercel.app translator. Creators. By far, the most popular creator is Carlos Valcárcel, also known by his screen name, Orloff. You can find him on all these platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. The only other person I have here is Marcus Scriptor. I already mentioned him before, but basically he does music and poetry in Interlingua. He has a YouTube channel and, of course, his blog that I already mentioned before. Now, let's talk about the community. There is a Discord server. Now, I have 2 things to say about this. One, there is at least one more Discord server, but I included this specific Discord server because it was the most active one I could find. 2. In general, apparently the Telegram groups are more active, but I'll talk about those in a few moments. In regards to Facebook groups, there is a general Facebook group for Interlingua, and there is also one specifically for the Unión Mundial Pro Interlingua. Again, this is the main organization that promotes Interlingua. Now, speaking of Telegram groups, I included 2 Telegram groups here, but the first one appears to be more active. In any case, both groups are here, so you can do what you want. And now for the last section, other things. Basically, I did not know where to put these, so these are all here. The first link is Radio Interlingua. You can listen to audio recordings where participants talk about news about Interlingua, interviews, and other topics. Keep in mind that these broadcasts do not have transcriptions. They only contain audio. Now for the rest. We have proverbs and profanity. This link here, Resources de Interlingua, this is a page on rudhar.com, the website of Ruud Harmsen. This page contains different resources and writings that I did not include because I wanted a more focused and curated list. In any case, the link to this page is here if you want to look at it. Another rudhar.com page. Basically, these are documents by Stanley Moolake, who is an interlinguist that proposed new words. In this page, you can find resources by him and his explanations for why he arrived at certain conclusions in regards to his proposals. Interlingua Wiki. Let me be clear, this is not Wikipedia. This is a completely different website managed and edited by its own set of users. You can see what this site has for yourself. As for the last resource, this is simply a link to the English section of dictionaries, grammars, and courses on the Interlingua website. I already included what I thought was appropriate in the sections above, but you can look for yourself using this link. And that's everything. I hope you found this useful. I wish you good luck in your language learning journey. Have a good day, and goodbye.